In 2010, my three close friends, Liam, name changed, Chloe, name changed, and Mia, name changed, and I went on a hiking trip in the San Isabel National Forest in Colorado. The air was fresh, the scenery majestic. The dense forest canopy and clear blue sky gave us a sense of adventure and freedom. We were young and loved exploring, so sometimes we decided to stray from the marked trail to venture deeper into the woods. Going deeper into the forest, where few people passed, we stumbled upon something unexpected. Hidden among the ancient trees and thick bushes was a wooden structure. It was a small wooden cabin or house, looking very old and dilapidated. The exterior wood had faded. Some parts were rotting, and the roof was slightly collapsed. Vines and vegetation grew profusely, almost blending it into the surroundings. It was clearly abandoned for a long time. We stopped, curious. Why would there be a house here? Deep in the woods and far from the trail? What was its history? Curiosity overcame initial apprehension, and we decided to get closer to examine it. The air around the house seemed unusually quiet. The sounds of birds chirping, insects buzzing, and leaves rustling in the wind that we had become accustomed to on the way suddenly decreased, creating a strange, heavy silence. A sense of unease flickered, but we brushed it off, assuming it was just due to the sudden change in environment when entering a denser area of trees. We approached the wooden house, stepping onto the rotting porch. The smell of decaying wood, damp earth, and something else hard to describe, pungent, assailed our noses. As we got closer to the wooden house, we began to notice other strange things, much more terrifying than its dilapidated appearance. On the wooden walls of the house, we saw carvings, not like regular drawings or names. They were symbols, strange geometric symbols, interlocking circles, angular lines that looked ancient and foreign. They were carved deeply into the wood, and looked very deliberate, not just on the house. We also saw similar symbols carved into the bark of the ancient trees immediately surrounding the house. Liam, my friend who had a bit of an interest in mysterious and strange topics, hinting at his fascination with the unusual, immediately recognized them. His face shifted from curiosity to seriousness, then slightly pale. "Hey, look at this," Liam said, his voice slightly trembling. They look like summoning or ritual symbols. The stuff I've read about secret societies or magic." Liam's words sent shivers down our spines. Summoning symbols? Rituals? The initial unease suddenly turned into real fear. We stared at those terrifying symbols, feeling as if they were looking back at us, radiating a dark, malevolent energy. Despite the fear, curiosity kept us there briefly. We took out our phones and cameras to take pictures and videos of the cabin and the symbols. We wanted to document this strange discovery. I used my video camera, sweeping it across the house, the symbols, the surrounding scenery casually. This casual filming was what accidentally captured something terrifying that we didn't even notice at the time. The atmosphere around the house became heavier, more suffocating with each passing moment. The silence in the woods was no longer peaceful, but a terrifying silence, as if everything was holding its breath. We felt as if we were being watched, observed from somewhere in the surrounding forest. We continued to examine the house and the symbols, discussing their possible meaning. Time passed, and we realized it was already noon. Around 12 p.m., the sun's rays filtered through the canopy, creating streaks of light and shadow. And then, the horrifying thing happened. While filming the surrounding forest near the house, I caught a glimpse of movement in my peripheral vision. Behind a particularly large, ancient tree near the cabin, half hidden by the trunk, was a shape, a dark shadow. It was not a normal shadow cast by the sun. It was a black shadow, unnaturally dark, deeper than any shadow around. It didn't have the clear shape of a person or object, just a dense, murky mass of blackness. It seemed to be hiding behind the tree trunk, only a small part of it visible. But the most terrifying thing was the feeling. Immediately, a wave of icy, utter terror washed over me. It felt as if that dark shadow was staring directly at us, observing our every move. It wasn't a part of the forest. It was something malevolent, hiding in the darkness in broad daylight. I just saw something," I stammered, my voice shaking. Liam, Chloe, and Mia turned to look at me. Liam, his eyes tense, asked, "What?" I pointed towards the ancient tree. "Over there." A dark shadow, hiding behind the tree. They looked in the direction I pointed. Perhaps one or two of them also caught a glimpse of something. Or just felt the terrifying atmosphere. Their faces, which had been curious and slightly worried, now turned to ones of utter shock and fear. We looked at each other, wide-eyed, speechless. The sense of danger was real. Not danger from wild animals, but a different, far more malevolent danger. That dark shadow, the strange symbols, the terrifying silence, it all connected into a horrifying truth. We had found a place we shouldn't have found. And we had disturbed something. No one needed to give an order. Instinctively, we all knew what we had to do. Go now, Liam urged, his voice full of panic. Already turning back and starting to walk quickly back the way we came. The entire group turned around, almost running, not daring to look back towards the wooden house and that dark shadow. Our exploratory hike had turned into a terrifying retreat. We ran as fast as we could through the woods, trying to get back to the main trail. The sound of our footsteps on the dry leaves echoed unnaturally in the terrifying silence of the forest. We kept looking back, jumping in fear at every sound, a dry branch snapping, leaves rustling from the wind, or an animal moving. Did we hear a fifth set of footsteps? Was that dark shadow following us? Paranoia and fear crept into our minds, turning the once beautiful forest into a maze filled with invisible threats. The feeling of being watched stayed with us until we emerged from the dense woods and returned to the main, marked trail, where there were more people around. Only then did we feel a little safer. Stopping, panting, trembling. Later, after reaching safety, back at our camp, or even back home after the trip, we decided to review the video footage I had taken near the wooden house. With immense tension and fear, we rewound the footage. The beginning, showing the house and the symbols, looked normal, though still unsettling in their own way. Then, it got to the part where I swept the camera towards the large ancient tree. And it was there, very brief, very blurry, but undeniably the dark shadow. It stood silently behind the tree trunk, darker than normal shadows, an undefined shape. It was there. The camera had captured it. This confirmation deepened our fear. Perhaps the camera also captured unusual sounds at that moment that we hadn't heard clearly on site. That experience left a deep, lasting psychological scar on all four of us. We are haunted by deep forests, abandoned houses, and especially strange symbols. The fear of the dark shadow we saw, of what those symbols might summon, always lingers. What was it? Was it a demon? Was it trapped there? Or could it move freely? And most importantly, did it somehow follow us back? Those questions remain unanswered, and perhaps that ambiguity is the most terrifying thing. We had glimpsed a part of a malevolent world hidden within nature. And even just that brief encounter was enough to change our lives forever. This story is true. It is what we experienced on the mountains in Colorado. It taught us that some places in this world hold dark secrets, ancient rituals, and evil forces that we should never disturb. If the story of the mysterious wooden house, the demon summoning symbols, and the dark shadow in broad daylight sent chills down your spine. If you believe in true horror, places haunted by dark rituals, and encounters with supernatural forces, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for the next videos. There are many other horrifying secrets waiting to be told.